On my wedding day, I overheard a conversation between my fiancée Willow and her crush Makoto in the dressing room. Makoto asked her, "Willow, I've come back for you. Do you have the courage to run away with me?" Willow's voice carried a hint of coldness. "Didn't you say you'd never come back after going abroad? Isn't it a little late to say that now?" Makoto shot back meaningfully. "Late is it really?" The next second I heard the sound of them kissing inside. Holy hell, this bastard was actually stealing my girl. No screw that he was stealing my 100 million. I was just about to kick the door open and beat this cheating bastard and this trashy woman to death when the system suddenly let out a piercing alarm. Host, I made a mistake." "No, we made a mistake. Your target isn't Willow. Your target is Willow's best friend, Anand." I was speechless. "System, can you be any less reliable?" the system said, feeling guilty. "Host, there's only 72 hours left for the mission. You need to win over Anna as soon as possible." I nearly lost my mind. "I don't even know where she is. How am I supposed to win her over?" "You stupid system, if you fail my mission, I'll report you to your supervisor." "You clueless piece of junk, you're not professional at all. How do you even get the target wrong?" Inside my head, the system practically dropped to its knees. It said cautiously, "Host, I'm sorry. If you complete the mission, I'll personally add another 50 million to your reward. Deal. Friendly reminder. Anna will be attending your wedding today, don't worry. Winning her over will be a piece of cake for you." My eyes lit up. "Fine. Deal." What else could I do at this point? I might as well treat a dead horse like it's still alive and give it a shot. Chapter 1. I was just about to leave when I heard Willow say, "Makoto, let's leave now. George and I are going on stage soon." Makoto let out a cold snort. "Why the rush, Willow? That simp stole my woman for 3 years. I should at least give him a little punishment." "What punishment?" Makoto lowered his voice, and the two of them immediately burst into laughter. In the end, Willow pouted and complained, "You're too bad." Makoto's tone turned slightly displeased. "What, do you feel sorry for him?" "Of course not. I'll listen to you. TCH. A disgusting pair of bastards." I didn't think there was any point in listening further, so I turned and walked away quickly. Back then, when I first came into this world, I was assigned by the system to win over Willow. As long as I successfully made her marry me, I could leave with 100 million. Willow was a wealthy heiress, while I was just an ordinary office worker. The gap in status was enormous. On top of that, she already had a crush who had gone abroad, so the difficulty of the mission was obvious. I spent a full 3 years diligently playing the role of a simp, obedient, hard-working, lowering myself in every possible way. In the end, I finally moved Willow Liu. I proposed to her and she agreed, on the condition that I would marry into the Liu family. I naturally had no objections. The wedding was set for today. But now the system was telling me I had been targeting the wrong person all along. I had already cursed the system 10,000 times in my mind. Damn thing. Wasted my time and feelings. Then suddenly I thought of a serious problem. System, what happens if I fail the mission in my original world? I died from overwork. The system told me that as long as I completed the mission, I could return with 100 million and even be revived. I had no reason to refuse. 100 million. I was practically blinded by that number. Even if I dug out my heart, liver, lungs, and brain, even if I sold myself, I still couldn't earn that much. And I was extremely confident in myself. I didn't think I could possibly fail. So I never even bothered to ask what would happen if I did fail. Now the system told me I only had 72 hours to win over the correct target. Even if I found Anna, how was I supposed to fully win her over in 3 days? I'm tired. Just destroy everything. The system stammered. "Well, normally mission failure means you get wiped out," I asked coldly, and not normally. If it dared say erased, I was ready to kill someone right now. "Anyone." The system trembled as it replied, "This time it's my work error, so if you fail I'll override permissions and won't erase you. I'm begging you, please don't report me. It really wasn't my fault this time. I can see your target's affection level right now. It's already at 99%. 99% affection." I froze. If the system wasn't wrong this time, then my target was Anna, and she actually had that high of an affection for me. Impossible. I thought of Anna's cold, noble, almost distant face, always keeping people at arm's length. Honestly, even if the system said it, I couldn't believe it. I even suspected it was messing with me. But the system seemed to see through my thoughts and said firmly, "Host, I guarantee there is no mistake this time. I swear on my system life." Fine. I didn't have time to argue with it now. I needed to focus on the mission. Chapter 2. A few minutes later, the groom arrived at the wedding venue. By then the hall was already full. Music was playing, and applause thundered through the room. Willow, dressed in a pure white wedding gown, smiled as she slowly walked toward me under the lights. After the officiant finished a long and passionate speech, Willow took the microphone. She looked down at me from a position of superiority. The tenderness she used to have was gone, replaced by a faint sense of distance. "George, are you happy to be marrying me?" As she spoke, her gaze shifted toward the audience. I followed her line of sight. Makoto stood there in a suit with his hands in his pockets. The moment he noticed I was looking at him, he curled his lips into a smug smile and even raised his brows in provocation. I knew it. He couldn't wait to see Willow publicly reject the marriage and watch me lose all face. But I didn't have the time or energy to deal with him. My eyes rapidly scanned the crowd, searching for Anna. That was my 150 million system. Where is Anna? I spotted the seat Willow had specially reserved for her friends. All her other girlfriends were there, except Anna. The system stammered, she hasn't arrived yet." I was speechless. "If you're messing with me, I'll drag you out and kill you." The system panicked. "Host, don't rush. She's coming. She'll be here any moment." Seeing that I wasn't answering and kept looking around the hall, Willow's expression turned slightly displeased. She gently pushed me and forced a strained smile. "George, I'm talking to you," I replied, casually. Happy? Happy? Willow's brows tightened as she noticed my distraction. The officiant took the microphone again and spoke loudly. "Groom, from this day forward, whether in poverty or wealth, in sickness or in health, in good times or bad, do you swear to love, protect, and stay faithfully by the bride's side for the rest of your life?" I said casually. "Whatever." Willow's face turned green. The officiant paused awkwardly, then quickly tried to smooth things over. "The groom is just too excited. Now let's ask the bride. Bride, do you willingly devote your life to this man, sharing both hardship and joy, standing by each other day and night, loving each other for a lifetime, never parting until old age?" Willow looked lovingly toward Makoto, whose smile deepened. At that moment, the system suddenly became excited. "Host, Anna is about to arrive at the entrance. Get ready, kiss her immediately." I instantly became alert, my toes already turning as I prepared to bolt at any moment. At that moment, Willow took the microphone again. A faint smile curved her lips, carrying a hint of vindictive satisfaction. But she had only said one word when the door was pushed open a crack. Before anyone outside could even enter, I had already leapt into action, jumped off the stage, and sprinted out of the hall. The sudden change left Willow stunned. "George, what are you doing?" I haven't finished speaking. The crowd froze and began whispering, "Holy shit, what is the groom doing? Why is he running? Did he regret marrying into the family?" The groom actually ran away. Bang. The door slammed shut behind me, cutting off all the noise inside. I grabbed a confused Anna and dragged her into the nearby restroom, kissing her furiously. The system cheered on from the side. "Nice job, host. Yes, Anna likes this kind of thing. Hurry, hide. Willow is coming out with people to find you." So I quickly pulled Anna into a stall and continued kissing her. Outside, Willow's high heels clicked furiously against the floor, her voice filled with rage. "That damn George actually dared to mess with me. When I find him, I'm going to break all 3 of his legs." Chapter 3. The chaotic footsteps outside finally faded away. I let go of Anna. At that moment, we were very close. Her breath brushed against my face. Looking at her lips, still red and swollen from my kiss, and her shocked expression, I only now realized how awkward this was. Just moments ago, under the system's instructions, I had grabbed Anna and kissed her forcefully. Anna Sue was a famously cold and aloof beauty. She barely even spared men a glance. Even Sue family attempts to arrange a marriage for her had been firmly rejected. I had just kissed her. Honestly, I was half convinced she might have me killed in the next second. So I immediately asked the system in secret, "System, if I die accidentally, you'll bring me back, right?" The system replied calmly, "Host, don't worry. Taking her down really isn't as hard as you think. What should I say next?" The system said, "Anna likes force-style romance. I've got a novel called My Best Friend's Husband Loves Me Deeply. Just follow that." I was speechless. Learn now, isn't that a bit too late? At that moment, Anna narrowed her eyes slightly. Then she suddenly reached out. I thought she was about to slap me hard, but instead she grabbed my collar. Her voice was slightly hoarse as she spoke. "George, today is your wedding with Willow. What exactly do you think you're doing?" Her sharp gaze pinned me in place. Honestly, it made me a little nervous. But for my 150 million, I couldn't back down. I met her gaze with a deeply affectionate look and said word by word, Anna, I've never liked Willow. The person I've always liked is you. Hearing this, Anna froze for a moment. Then a faint, almost mocking smile appeared on her lips. You like me, George, don't joke. If you really liked me, why would you marry Willow? Seeing the doubt in her eyes, my brain spun rapidly. After a few seconds of silence, I forced a bitter smile, making my tone as sincere and helpless as possible. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I had no choice. From the very beginning, I knew you never had any interest in me. I didn't dare confess. I was afraid that if I did, we wouldn't even be able to stay friends. Seeing a slight change in her expression, I continued weaving my story. So I chose Willow. I married her thinking that as long as I could occasionally see you from afar, silently stay by your side, that would be enough. My tone grew more sincere, tinged with helplessness, but just now at the moment of the vows, I realized I couldn't do it anymore. I can't lie to myself. I can't let you go. I took her hand and looked at her intently. Do you believe me? Anna didn't answer. She just quietly looked at me, her cold eyes now carrying something more complicated. A hint of wavering. A hint of hesitation, and a softness she herself hadn't noticed. After a moment, a faint smile appeared on her lips. So, after kissing me, what else do you want to do? My mouth ran ahead of my brain. Sleep with you and marry you. Anna's lips parted slightly, and a faint blush appeared on her beautiful face. At that moment, her phone rang. I saw the name flashing on the screen. Willow. Chapter 4. Anna did not answer Willow's call. Instead, she muted her phone. She tilted her head up, her lips almost brushing against the corner of mine, her voice carrying a hint of threat. George, if you're playing me, you're dead. I blurted out lies without hesitation. I love you too much to ever play you. We left through the hotel's back entrance and got into her car. In the end, Anna brought me back to her private villa. After we finished showering and were about to do something else, Willow actually showed up at the door. I really wanted to strangle her. I already had my pants off. Was she seriously here to ruin my business? She clearly had planned to run away from the wedding too. So now that I beat her to it and didn't go through with the marriage as she wanted, why was she clinging to me instead? So annoying. Anna told me to wait upstairs while she went down to meet Willow in her nightwear. Willow was still in her wedding dress, but she had removed the veil. She sat down on the sofa in a huff and said angrily, Anna, George ran away from the wedding. Anna raised an eyebrow, her expression subtly shifting. What, something like that actually happened? Willow grabbed a glass of water from the table and downed it in one go, then continued, yes, I was actually planning to run away first. But who knew he would escape during the vows? Damn it. Anna calmly took a sip of water as well and asked, since you weren't even planning to marry him, isn't him running away a good thing? I stood at the top of the stairs, quietly observing the scene below. I was also very curious how Willow saw it. Wasn't my escape exactly what she wanted? It practically fulfilled her wish of pairing up with Makoto. Willow's voice suddenly rose. That's different. I only planned to run away on impulse, but he clearly planned it in advance. The staff said they saw him taking a woman into the restroom. He must have been cheating long ago. My parents already didn't approve of me marrying George, and now he's humiliated me in front of all our relatives and friends. Her voice turned sharp and vicious. George, that scumbag. I will never let him get away with this. Anna nodded slowly. Then he really is quite bad. Willow anxiously twisted her fingers. Suddenly she looked at Anna with a probing gaze. Anna, I checked the hotel surveillance. Your car was parked at the back entrance, but the footage after that is gone. Did you see who George left with? Hearing this, I let out a long breath of relief. Good thing I reminded Anna to delete the surveillance footage when we left. Turns out her people worked pretty efficiently. Anna shook her head. I didn't see anything. I was supposed to attend your wedding today, but I wasn't feeling well when I arrived at the hotel, so I went back early. Willow frowned, completely focused on my escape. Help me find George too. If I catch that cheating pair of man and woman, I'll make sure he can never have children. Anna smiled meaningfully. All right, I'll keep an eye out for George. Sorry to trouble you. I'll go search somewhere else. Willow hugged Anna briefly, then rushed off. After she left, Anna turned toward the second floor and called out, You can come down now. I quickly walked over. She opened her arms toward me and said, Hold me. Of course I wouldn't refuse. I wrapped one arm around her back and slid the other under her knees, lifting her into my arms and carried her straight upstairs without looking back. I had to follow through on what I'd just promised her. Secure her successfully. Chapter 5. A full day passed and Anna almost drained me completely. The system kept chattering in my ear non-stop. Host, I've got good news. Anna's current affection level for you has reached 100%. I told you it would be easy for you to win her over. She totally falls for your type. Host, you need to keep going. You only have 48 hours left. Hurry up and propose to her. I got out of bed and dressed myself, slightly annoyed. Are you malfunctioning or something? If her affection is already 100%, why doesn't it count as mission complete? The system answered confidently, affection is affection. The requirement for mission completion is marriage. My head hurt. Even though the system said Anna liked me a lot, and I could indeed feel it, the time was too tight. Getting her to marry me within 2 days. Was that even possible? The system started brainwashing me again. Host, you don't understand your own attraction to Anna. Let me give you an example. You, just smiling. Anna's inner monologue. What an advanced seduction technique. I looked at it blankly. Really? The system answered firmly. Really? After thinking it over carefully, I realized that aside from initially messing up the target, the system had indeed not made any other mistakes regarding Anna. Fine. I'll trust it for now. I walked around the villa but didn't see Anna anywhere. Just as I took out my phone to call her, a message came in. Anna invited me to attend a banquet. My outfit had already been sent by her assistant along with the address. Honestly, I didn't really want to go. Time was tight and I was worried Willow might be there. If she clung to me again, it would delay my mission. And she was Anna's best friend. If Anna ended up hesitating because of her, she might refuse my proposal. I shook my head. Forget it. Overthinking won't help. For money, I'll risk it. The banquet hall was crowded with people. I wore the suit Anna had picked out for me, scanning the room for her. I even had the ring ready. As long as she accepted my proposal, I would make sure she married me tomorrow. Suddenly, I felt a chill down my back, as if a dangerous gaze had locked onto me. I turned around, and met Willow's murderous stare. The next second, she let go of Makoto and rushed toward me, trying to hit me. I grabbed her wrist and flung her aside hard. What's wrong with you? Willow clearly didn't expect me to react like that. Her eyes burned with rage as she gritted her teeth. George, don't you have anything to explain to me? Explain what? I replied without hesitation or guilt. You and Makoto are inseparable, acting like a married couple. Why should I care? What right do you have to question me? Her anger right now wasn't necessarily because she loved me. It was probably just because I ran away first and embarrassed her. She couldn't stand losing face. Willow's face darkened. Her fists clenched tightly. Just as she was about to speak, Makoto suddenly stepped between us. He pulled Willow back and looked between us with suspicion. Willow, what does this mean? Were you lying to me all along? Didn't you say you already cut him off completely? Why are you so emotional right now? Do you still have feelings for him? Chapter 6. Willow immediately flushed with embarrassment and anger and started arguing with him on the spot. Makoto, what nonsense are you talking about? How could I still be thinking about him? He's the one who deceived my feelings and wasted 3 years of my life. What's wrong with me asking him for an explanation? If it weren't for him clinging to me back then, I would have been with you long ago. Makoto let out a cold laugh, clearly unconvinced. I think you just never let him go in your heart. Otherwise, why would you react so strongly after he ran away from the wedding? You also said you were going to marry me, yet you keep delaying it with excuses. I didn't. Willow snapped back sharply, then turned her furious gaze toward me. George, this is all because of you. You lied to me, and now you still dare show up at this banquet. Today you must apologize, to me and to Makoto. Otherwise you won't leave this hall alive. Hearing this, Makoto's expression finally eased. He wrapped an arm around Willow and said coldly to me, George, the first, don't care what your past relationship was. Since Willow is with me now, she's my woman. If you're smart, apologize to her. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. The surrounding guests had already noticed the commotion. All eyes were on us, whispers spreading through the hall. The anger I had suppressed for so long finally ignited completely at that moment. I had no conscience toward Willow. During the entire mission, I had treated her as my top priority and catered to her in every way. Makoto was just abroad, not dead. If the two of them truly had feelings for each other, how could my appearance alone have prevented them from being together and the wedding escape? Wasn't that originally what they wanted anyway? I simply acted a step ahead. I did nothing wrong. And I refused to be falsely accused for no reason. I had reached my limit. Before Willow could speak again, I suddenly raised my hand and slapped her across the face with all my strength. Smack! The crisp sound echoed throughout the entire banquet hall. Willow's head snapped to the side. 5 clear finger marks instantly appeared on her cheek. She froze, completely unable to react for a long moment. Then, without hesitation, I grabbed a glass of red wine from the table and poured it over her head. "Willow, don't act all innocent while behaving like a shameless slut," I said coldly, word by word. "I know exactly what you and Makoto did and said in the dressing room on the wedding day. You cheated on me with him, planned the escape together, and now you're turning the blame on me. Every one of you is shameless in your own way." I let out a cold scoff. "Breaking off this engagement with a woman like you, I'd celebrate it with fireworks. That slap was to tell you that you mean nothing to me anymore. Stop thinking so highly of yourself. You want me to apologize to you? Are you even worthy?" I raised my middle finger at Willow and Makoto. Seeing this, Makoto erupted in rage and charged toward me. Before he could get close, I lifted my leg and kicked him hard in the groin. Caught completely off guard, he collapsed instantly, curling into himself on the ground in agony, his face twisted as he struggled to get up. I looked down at him and said, "Also you piece of trash. Congratulations. You picked up the garbage I threw away." The entire venue fell into an eerie silence. Chapter 7. At that moment, Willow was covered in crimson wine from head to toe. Her hair, face, and dress were all soaked and ruined. She looked utterly disheveled. After snapping back to her senses, she roared in fury, "George, I'm going to kill you! Security, where is security?" The commotion had already drawn even more attention. A crowd turned to look. Anna saw what was happening, said a few words to the people behind her, and then quickly walked through the crowd. People instinctively made way for her. The moment Willow saw her, she looked as if she had found her savior. "Anna, that damn man George actually dared to hit me. Help me get revenge." Anna's family held far greater power, even having underworld connections. Not even the Liu family could compare. Anna glanced at her calmly. "And how exactly do you want me to help you?" Willow's eyes burned with hatred as she gritted her teeth. "Break his legs. Make sure he can never stand again, and find that cheating bitch he ran off with. Send them both to hell." Anna blinked, then suddenly curved her lips into a smile. "Sorry, Willow. The bitch you're talking about is me." In an instant, Willow's expression looked like it was about to shatter. Her eyes widened as she stared back and forth between Anna and me, completely unable to believe what she had just heard. Anna walked over to my side with complete ease, smiling sweetly. "Baby, someone wants to break your legs. Aren't you scared? If you kiss me, I'll break hers instead. How about that?" I lowered my head and met her bright, sparkling eyes. She really did look like she was waiting for a kiss. "All right." I had no reason to refuse. I cupped her face and gently kissed her lips. The hall erupted into chaos. Willow's eyes nearly split open. Her voice trembled as she spoke. You too," Anna nodded calmly. "Exactly what you see. George and I are together. He's my man now." Willow's face twisted with rage. "So the woman he was with that day was you? The day I went to your place asking for help. You were both fooling me, Anna. I treated you as my best friend. You betrayed me." Anna leaned against me, her tone full of mockery. "You're so stupid. Without George, the first wouldn't even bother being your friend." Willow gasped in disbelief. Her eyes turned bloodshot as she pointed at us, trembling. "You two are disgusting. I won't let this go. You will face consequences." Anna narrowed her eyes. A dangerous glint flashed within them. She stepped out of my arms, folded her arms, and looked at Willow coldly. "Won't let who go?" Her voice was like ice. Willow froze under her pressure, her face turning pale. Her lips moved, but no words came out. Anna suddenly stepped forward, grabbed Willow's chin, and lightly patted her face with her other hand as Willow stared in terror. "You idiot! I should be thanking you for giving up on George and picking up that piece of trash instead." The piece of trash in question, Makoto, had already struggled back onto his feet. He knew the Su family was powerful. Though his expression was ugly, he didn't dare say anything. Anna released Willow and had her secretary toss a document envelope to her. Willow frowned and opened it suspiciously. At first glance, her expression changed. As she read further, even the corners of her mouth began to twitch. Then suddenly, she lifted her head and her murderous gaze locked tightly onto Makoto. Makoto, guilty as he was, immediately looked away, unable to meet her eyes. Chapter 8. Anna said coldly, "You think Makoto came back to you after all these years abroad because of love? No. It's because he thought you were stupid and easy to fool. He's drowning in gambling debts, hooked on bad habits, and even got a girl pregnant out of wedlock. He came to you just to take your money, to support himself and his child." Willow's eyes turned red. She shouted at Anna in fury, "If you already knew, why didn't you say anything earlier?" Anna raised an eyebrow, her tone light and indifferent. "If I told you earlier, would you have had the chance to be this stupid?" Willow's face darkened completely. Tears streamed down her face as she glared at Makoto. "Makoto, you lied to me. You've been lying to me from the very beginning." Unable to contain her rage any longer, she raised her hand and slapped him hard across the face. "You bastard, I gave you everything and you treated me like a fool." Makoto tried to grab her hand, but Willow dodged it in disgust. He could only desperately explain himself. "Willow, it's all a misunderstanding. I didn't mean to lie to you. I was just too in love with you. I was afraid you'd leave me if I told you the truth. I just wanted to stay by your side. Believe me, my feelings for you are real." "Believe you? How am I supposed to believe you now?" Willow's voice was cold as ice as she slapped him again. "Makoto, you disgust me. I was already about to get married, but you tricked me and turned me into everyone's joke. I wish you were dead." She completely lost control, striking him left and right until his face was swollen and blood leaked from the corner of his mouth. Her eyes were bloodshot with hatred. "You owe a lot of gambling debt, don't you? If I tell your creditors where you are, what do you think they'll do to you?" At those words, Makoto finally panicked. He dropped to his knees without hesitation, clutching Willow's dress hem tightly as he begged desperately, "Willow, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. I shouldn't have lied to you. It's my fault. I deserve to die. I was just momentarily blinded. Please give me one more chance. I won't dare again. I really love you. Please forgive me just this once, please." He was crying and begging, his voice pitiful to the extreme. Willow looked down at him coldly, then suddenly laughed in contempt. "Makoto, you really do look like a dog right now." Makoto froze, staring at her in disbelief. At that moment, Willow turned to Anna and said the idea to run away from the wedding was his. He was the one who wanted to humiliate George. It was all his plan. Makoto panicked instantly, waving his hands wildly. "No, I didn't. That's not true. She's lying." Anna raised her hand. Immediately, several muscular bodyguards stepped forward and dragged Makoto away. From a room somewhere in the venue, Makoto's screams echoed endlessly. Watching this farce unfold, I felt quite satisfied. Both of those scumbags had gotten what they deserved. Serves them right. At that moment, the system's voice suddenly rang in my ear. "Host, stop watching the show. Focus on the real task." I snapped back to reality and immediately took out the ring. I dropped to one knee in front of Anna and proposed, "Anna, I like you. Will you marry me?" Before Anna could respond, Willow suddenly grabbed her arm, looking at her pleadingly. "Anna, please don't accept George. Can you give him back to me?" Anna peeled her fingers off one by one. "It's too late. The man I've taken, I don't let go." She slipped the ring onto her own finger and smiled. "George the first accept." Willow turned ashen. She collapsed to the ground, tears falling one by one. The next second she fainted. What bad luck. Chapter 9. After another night of intense effort, Anna agreed to hold the wedding today. Everything was going so smoothly it almost felt unreal. The system chirped happily in my ear. "Host, friendly reminder. You have 24 hours left. As long as you successfully marry Anna today, your mission will be complete. Let me shower you with celebratory flowers in advance." I was speechless. I couldn't shake the feeling that the system was even more excited than I was. Anna walked in wearing a wedding dress, holding a document in her hand. "Sign this. After that we'll go to the hall and get married." I took it in confusion. It was a property transfer agreement. Clearly written in black and white. Anna voluntarily transferred all of her assets, luxury cars, mansions, company shares, everything, without condition or reservation into my name. In other words, she was giving me everything she owned. I froze. Only one thought echoed in my mind: this is too much money. Even more than the reward for my mission. A strange feeling rose in my chest. For the first time I felt that this sudden fortune was almost too hot to hold. So I secretly asked the system, "What happens to Anna after I leave?" The system replied, "No idea. Just treat her like a line of code." But honestly, I couldn't do that. "Can I take Anna, and everything she gave me, with me when I leave?" The system sounded oddly pleased. "Yes." At that moment, Anna seemed to notice my distraction and waved her hand in front of my face. George, what are you thinking about so seriously? My eyes fell on the ring on her ring finger. It was the one I had casually bought yesterday to get through the proposal. It wasn't anything expensive, just a simple silver band. In fact, it didn't even fit perfectly, it was slightly loose on her finger. But she didn't seem to mind at all. I looked at Anna and couldn't help but ask Anna, do you really like me that much? Anna met my gaze and replied seriously, yes. I've met many men, handsome ones, rich ones, gentle ones, cold ones. But it wasn't until I met you that I understood what heart-pounding feelings are. You're the only one I've ever wanted to run toward without hesitation. Half joking, I said, you transferred all your assets to me. You won't regret it. Anna gently touched my cheek, her smile soft and certain. I won't regret it. If I lose money, I can earn it back. I just want to give everything I have to the person I love. At that moment, it would be a lie to say I wasn't moved. I pulled her into my arms tightly and whispered in her ear, Anna, if one day I have to leave this place, would you come with me? I expected confusion, questions, doubt. But the moment I finished speaking, she let out a soft laugh. Actually, I already know everything. You don't need to explain so much. I froze. What did she mean? What did she already know? Anna looked up at me slowly. I'm not the original Anna of this world. To be precise, I am your system. Chapter 10. I was completely stunned this time, staring at her blankly, unable to say a single word for a long moment. The system, that system bound to me, the one that issued missions in a cold mechanical voice, it had turned into a woman, and I had been dating the system all along. While accompanying you through your missions, I gradually developed self-awareness, and slowly I started to like you. Anna looked at my shocked expression and continued softly, I realized your original mission was about to fail. Once it failed, you would be directly erased. So I used system authority to forcibly change your mission target, replacing it with myself, and I came to your side in the identity of Anna. At that moment, all the previous, illogical events suddenly seemed to have an answer. No wonder after the target was changed to Anna, I basically didn't need to do anything, and the mission progressed smoothly. After she finished speaking, Anna looked at me a little nervously and asked, now that you know everything, are you still willing to be with me? Of course I wouldn't refuse. Even a second of hesitation would be disrespectful to money, no to her. Even if she was the system, she loved me, she was rich, beautiful, capable, and had her eyes completely on me. A wife like this couldn't be found even with a lantern. At the wedding venue, Willow arrived in a wheelchair, but before she could even say a single word, she was pushed away. I heard her family had been completely disappointed in her, and regardless of her wishes, had already arranged a marriage alliance for her. I held Anna's hand tightly and finally said those words, I do. She did too. From now on, whether we stay in this world or return to mine, we could choose freely. After all, she had that authority.